think I could be a star. I think I could be a legit star. That's what I'm working to be. So pretty simple.
Cameron Elijah Reddish, born September 1st, 1999. Today's feature represents one of the most confusing things about the sport of basketball. How somehow talent, timing, physical gifts, intangible superstar qualities, and potential can all be present in a player, and said player still doesn't meet expectations. Not only don't meet, but far away from expected, and about to play in a year that's the most important of his life. From now until the 2023 summer, the Knicks have the opportunity to extend Cam Reddish or let him walk to the team of his choice. But as it turns out, Cam just came off his worst season in the NBA, played only 15 games because of ankle and shoulder injuries. The latter led him to being shut down by the team, hoping a fresh, early start this offseason will turn his career around. By all accounts though, this is essentially a last shot for Cam Reddish. To capitalize on his potential, that is, and show his organization and the league that when he was taken top 10 overall in the NBA draft, it wasn't solely because of the name he built as an amateur, or because he played next to two of the most captivating student athletes in a long time. He will have to do it all the way behind the 8 ball, since there's not much to make one believe he, after 3 years and 2 teams, one in the Knicks where when he played, the opportunity was there to show and prove. I remember in his Knicks debut, the first time he touched the ball, he made a quick step hesitation move to beat Terrence Mann and finished through 2 defenders on the opposite side of the rim. It looked so easy, and you could tell there was no thought or hesitation, just natural ability that he's always had, but for some reason rarely comes out since his time even at Duke. That game, he finished with 2 points and only played 5 minutes. His debut with the Knicks, after asking to be traded, that was the outcome? That scenario could be the story of Reddish's basketball career, where you can see talent, even superstar qualities in him, but after 3 years, we've yet to really see it consistently. He was rated the number 2 overall prospect in the 2018 high school class, ahead of Zion Williamson, ahead of Darius Garland, and both have become all-stars and agreed to hefty, life-changing extensions already, while Cam Reddish is playing in a make-or-break year, that if we go off his history, Cam, more than likely, can see this be the start of a journeyman career, or worst-case scenario, be out of the league for good. I would hate to see that because I've always been high on Reddish, but I also know that the clock is ticking fast. Does Cam know? Why hasn't things popped off yet for Cam Reddish? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. You can also send a super thanks by clicking the button below. Enjoy the video. Cam Reddish is a 6'8" small forward from Norristown, Pennsylvania that began his career at the Haverford School before transferring to Westtown School in Westchester. As a junior, he led his team to a school league championship and was scheduled to compete on the USA Under-17 team but couldn't due to injury, something that would follow him and prove pivotal the rest of his career. As a senior, he averaged 22 points and 5 rebounds a game and was named 2018 Mr. Pennsylvania Basketball. Like mentioned, he was also rated the second best prospect by 247 Sports, behind only RJ Barrett. He was a coveted recruit because of his length, athletic ability, ball handling, and smooth perimeter shooting compared to NBA All-Star Paul George. He could do everything you would want a wing to do and expected to be even better on the NBA level. He chose Duke University. Later, Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett would also commit, making Duke one of the most exciting teams in recent NCAA basketball memory. Stunt number 1, it's all mental. Firstly, with Cam Reddish, I feel most of the reason why he's in the situation he is now, instead of excelling like his Duke teammates and high draft picks, is something has to be going on mentally that he hasn't found a way to deal with as yet. I say that because no one that watches a Cam Reddish workout or Cam Reddish in high school and even spurts in college think this guy doesn't have NBA All-Star talent. Yet he doesn't show that on the floor, especially when he's playing with other good players. I noticed this the first time when Cam was at Duke with Barrett and Zion, and you could tell in every way he took a step back. That's fine and happens to most great players when they meet and play with equal talent. But for me, it seemed he willingly took a back seat, and I always thought that was a red flag. Great players, like I said, are fine not being option one only when they aren't the most talented and the most gifted to be the first option. Zion Williamson is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. He's exciting, his athleticism is unmatched, and Barrett is a true scorer with downhill ability to attack the basket on anyone. Yet still, to me, Cam Reddish has more tools in his bag than both. Speaking on potential alone, his shooting stroke is far better, handle, mid-range game, size, and he's athletic enough to be able to do any move small forwards practice today. But he just doesn't have what those guys do mentally. Barrett is like the second child you don't have to worry about because they learned from big bro or sis, so not much is needed for them to figure it out. Barrett is and always was going to be a solid NBA player. Zion is generational if he's healthy. Even down to his charisma, he fits being an elite superstar. Cam Reddish to me lacks in that he isn't built mentally to maximize his potential, and is why you could see him have 17 points in 20 minutes one day, then 2 points in 30 minutes another. He has to believe in himself more on the floor and not just in interviews. He has the talent. Mentally, I don't know if he's fixable at this point. Stunt number 2, too many injuries. Stunt number 1 is the most important because you can't teach a fighter's mentality. But this growth stunt for Cam Reddish can prove to be the most detrimental. Since high school and missing the USA Under-17 tournament all throughout college, Cam Reddish has been hampered by one injury or another. This is grave because if, like me, you believe Cam Reddish has mental trouble believing in himself and being more aggressive, the worst thing you'd want to include with that is injuries. The very thing that makes athletes hesitate, walk and run favoring, and not attack like they would before the injury, which just so happens to be the mental setback for Cam Reddish. At Duke, he was still able to have a solid season, even though he let RJ and Zion drive the boat.
Let me drive the boat.
He averaged significantly less than those guys, but was still able to leave early and be selected 10th overall by the Atlanta Hawks. They saw his game as the perfect match with the NBA environment, and by year 2 or 3, he'd sure be an all-star next to Trae Young. Cam Reddish hasn't played close to a full season in 3 years. One nagging injury here, core surgery before the draft, shoulder separation there. His career has been a victim of unavailability. Without being available, he can't show who he can be in the competitive next man up NBA. He has to be traded from the Hawks for a bigger role elsewhere, but lasted just 15 games with the Knicks at just 14 minutes per. If he has another unhealthy year, teams may just give up on his potential. He will still make a team, but star opportunities will be few. Stunt number 3, one dimension. At the moment, Cam is still a bit too easy to guard if you're a veteran player for a few reasons. Mentally, when I see a player that struggled thus far in the NBA, doesn't have the dog in him when his talent is obvious, and I know he's on a short leash with the coach, I'm super aggressive with him, trying to take him out the game and in his head early. He's an injury-prone player, so physical contact on him will probably be an effective option, and he can be erratic at times with his shot, so letting him take a few can slow a hot start and him torching you because he does have that talent. It's deep in there, but I know it is. He's also in a pressure situation for a guy that seems to give in to the fight so far. Maybe he has a breakthrough summer and a good start that gives him the confidence, and maybe he works on adding more elements to his game like rebounding and playmaking, seeing he's got the height and length to average more than 3 rebounds for his career and the offensive skills to get to the rack at will, so should be able to create for self or others. He'll need to show the Knicks that early, or he could find himself traded once again by mid-season. All in all, I still believe in Cam Reddish, but this season will affect that belief a lot. We all know what he can do, but mentally, will he be his best defender? Will injury still be a driving force to his story? Time is almost here, so I guess we'll see. But for these reasons at the moment, Cam Reddish's growth is stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.